was like, yeah, I think I broke my finger. I'm going to A&E.
If my girlfriend broke her finger, the first thing I'd ask is, how'd you break your finger?
You know, she was just like, oh, I'll tell you about it when I see it.
Guess that's why you have a girlfriend and I don't.
Welcome to Jeff Daniels franchise Fortnights.
Welcome to Fawks franchise Fortnights, as in Guy Fawks, as in remember the 5th of November.
Last Sunday,
that's right. We're transporting you back. This is a period piece. We're transporting you back all the way to last Sunday. It's Guy Fawks night, and we thought, do something a little different, have a little fun. Let's record outside on our deck.
Yeah, so if you hear crackly in the background,
yeah, that's fireworks.
Yeah.
What an atmosphere we're seeing.
Anyway, you kind of glossed over my Jeff Daniels joke.
No, I've got a whole thing about it. But first, before
I ruined your Jeff Daniels joke.
Yeah. But just to ruin the flow even more, just a quick note that we are actually recording this on the deck that we shot our Movember video. And if you don't know what Movember is, that is a charity that we're doing a Cult Popture campaign for, where you can donate as low as $1 to help
as
change
high as all the money you have.
To help change the face of men's health in New Zealand, and to celebrate that, or to coax you into donating, we're each growing a funny wee moustache.
Yeah.
So
what was the stipulation you put in?
Oh yeah, if we reach $2,000, we have to kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
And I guess we'll video it.
We won't. We'll do it in private for no one. Because if no one watches it, then it's something we need to sit down and talk about it.
I don't know. I think
we kiss all the time.
I think we're at a stage in society where two men can kiss in the privacy of their own home.
Disagree.
And not have to make a big deal out of it, AJ.
However, despite how this sounds and despite how we often start these podcasts, this is not a podcast about kissing. It can be, but this is actually a podcast.
AJ, what's your favourite kissing technique?
I like to really scrape my tongue around the outside of her teeth and get into the corners of her gums.
Yeah?
Yep. What's yours? Or his gums.
I was going to say it. It's very heteronormative.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was hetero. I wasn't normative.
I quite like doing, just a nice little peck on the cheek.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a good greeting.
This is
a good farewell.
This is actually a podcast where we review film franchises
that have Jeff Daniels on them.
The Cult Popture podcast. We review film franchises in a thing called Film Franchise Fortnights, which is very confusing. If you're listening, please leave a comment what you refer to us, to our podcast as. I'd like to know, is it Cult Popture? Or that's not a firework, that's a car.
And we're beginning to regret recording outside.
I like it. I like the fresh air.
Yeah, well, you have to listen to it.
It'll be nice. We've got wind guards on. It's all good.
All right.
So this fortnight we reviewed the 4 films in the 101 Dalmatians series. Now, a couple of statistics. As you mentioned, Richard, this is our 3rd franchise which features Jeff Daniel in at least one movie, but not all of them. So the others were Dumb and Dumber and Divergent.
Yeah.
And now 101 Dalmatians. This is also the 3rd dog-centric franchise we've covered, the others being Beethoven and Lady and the Tramp. And this is
okay, no, actually, when you thought that was cars, that's actually the wind blowing trees onto a house next door. It's a windy night and the trees in the house aren't going anywhere, so
oh well. And this is also the 3rd classic Disney franchise that we're talking about, including Lady and the Tramp as well, another dog one, and The Jungle Book.
Is there any that have all 3 that are classic Disney, have Jeff Daniels, and a dog-centric?
It's this one.
Oh my gosh.
It's 101 Dalmatians. So the 101 Dalmatians series is a 4-film franchise, as I said. The first one is called 101 Dalmatians, spelt like the words 101. That came out in 1961, and that was directed by Wolfgang Reitherman, Hamilton Lusk, and Clyde Geronimi, which I feel like are names familiar from the Lady and the Tramp episode.
Yeah, I mean, they had 3 people directed Lady and the Tramp, I remember that.
Yeah, that's true. and it's based on the novel The 101 Dalmatians by Dodie Smith.
And today I'm going to be cracking open a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, and I've got a lovely glass of Coke Zero.
You guys thought we were done, and I've been making an effort, to be more health conscious on the podcast by drinking water.
Yeah.
But as I said, this is Diet Dr. Pepper, so it's got
That's
0
basically
calories.
water. Yeah. So
It's still got that great Dr. Pepper taste, but slightly different. It's weird, but...
what is 101 Dalmatians about?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to think about this. So, contrary to popular belief, so there's a guy called Roger who lives with his dog Pongo, and Pongo narrates the film.
Yeah.
And he refers to Roger as his pet, which is actually kind of like a funny consistency.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie. And Pongo meets a lovely female Dalmatian. At the same time, Roger meets a lovely female woman. Mm-hmm. And they mate. Pongo and the Dalmatian, not Roger and the Dalmatian.
No. Well, not in this film.
Yeah, we'll save that for the sequel. But they have 15 Dalmatian puppies. That's right. There's 15 Dalmatian puppies in this film, not 101. Yeah. But then the villainous Cruella de Vil makes an appearance, and she wants to skin 101 Dalmatians for her big fur coat.
Yeah.
And so, through a series of mishaps, she ends up kidnapping all 17 puppies, the two parents and the 15 children, as well as another, 84?
Okay.
Yeah, 84 Dalmatian puppies, bringing the total to 101. They end up defeating her.
Yay!
Fireworks! And they end up defeating her, and then Roger and his new boo decide to adopt all 101 puppies as their own.
So yeah, that's quite a that's like, you know how people think Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father," but he says, "No, I am your father."
Yeah.
The fact that Pongo and what's the girl Dalmatian called? I don't remember
this.
That they don't actually birth, they don't sire the 101 themselves.
And even still, they would only.
It's barely coming up on the readout. We're good.
Even still, it would only be 99 puppies.
Yeah.
I hope they can hear the fireworks, because otherwise it's going to sound so weird. No, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
That they actually on their side would sire 99 puppies.
That's true.
And the two of them would bring the total up to 101.
Yeah. Speaking of 99, the number, what do you think this scored on Rotten Tomatoes?
99.
No, it scored 98. Then the next film in the series,
it deserves it. It's actually
it is. It's out of the classic Disneys we've watched. This is my favorite.
100%.
Yeah. 101%.
Yeah, this is actually a genuinely really good film.
Yeah, I liked it. The next one that came out in 1996, and that was called 101 Dalmatians.
It's going to be horrible to listen to.
No, it's not. It's fine. It's called 101 Dalmatians. Came out in 1996. That was directed by Stephen Herrick. And what's that one about?
They've got the exact same plot. It's a live-action remake. Although it now stars Jeff Daniels and Glenn Close. Glenn Close playing, of course, Cruella the Devil.
Cruella de Vil. Cruella the Vil.
No one who speaks German can be an evil man.
Yeah. So, as being the second film in the series, what do you think that scored on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'd go sub 60.
That's not fair.
What?
Well, yeah, of course, but what?
Well, I'm just saying it's not
something
it's
more
not
closer
fresh.
to home.
Okay, 48.
38. Very good. Not quite there.
I would have said closer to 38, but I was thinking it might get nostalgia goggles.
Yeah, it's that film is like the ultimate mid to late 90s Disney family film. Both it and its sequel, which we'll talk about now. And that sequel was called 102 Dalmatians, came out in the year 2000, directed by Kevin Lima. What's that one about?
Pretty much the same plot.
It's crazy, isn't it? Why make a live-action sequel? You would never get a sequel to the equivalent of 101 Dalmatians today. It's like 4 years after it came out. Who cares?
There's only Glenn Close and her assistant returning. But so it's like It's... Here they come.
That's
why we stopped doing it. Yeah, so this one is Cruella has been rehabilitated, and she comes out of jail. She loves puppies, but unbeknownst to everyone around her, the sound of Big Ben will make her hate dogs and love fur again. Of course, it's set in London, so that's unavoidable. But there's a couple of weird things in this. So she comes out of jail, and there's like Owen Grufford's in this movie. He plays the Gruffalo.
In what?
I don't know how to say his name, but he was Mr. Fantastic.
Ah, yes, yeah.
So he owns like the Second Chance dog shelter, and then Cruella's parole advisor. Oh, and so the connection to the first one is that the new owner of Dipstick, who was one of the... Oh, these are really fucking close.
What? How exciting.
They're like in our front yard.
I can't see them from my...
Yeah, that's how close they are. Dipstick, who was one of the puppies in the first one, has a new owner, and that's Chloe, who's like the main character in this one. Yeah,
who looks like way too similar to Anita, who's Roger's wife from the first one. Yeah. That I was like, is Anita in the...
Where's Jeff Daniels?
Yeah, because I was like, why? First of all, why are the puppies with different owners now, or the dogs with different owners now? It's kind of tragic. Yeah. they don't really explain that. And then they cast another blonde English woman.
Because the whole first one's like, we're never giving them up.
Yeah. And they cast a blonde English woman to play Dipstick's new owner. And she just looks exactly the same
and
person.
there's one called Oddball who doesn't have any spots.
Yes.
And they make a huge deal about how she's really sensitive about not having spots, so don't use the SPOTS word around her. But they called her Oddball.
Yeah.
Which is like... It's like in the first one, there's one called Rolly, and he's the fat one. And it's like, well, don't call him Rolly. you're like condemning him to a life of just...
I'm going to name my child Stupid Idiot.
He's sensitive about the fact that he's a stupid idiot.
The CGI that's oft used on Oddball specifically is particularly bad as well.
Yeah, I think the version I watched was low enough quality that didn't actually...
Yeah, oh my gosh, you guys listening to this, you got to understand how we find these movies. Often you can't get the DVD, you can't even download it anywhere, so you got to find like some obscure stream, and every time you click play or pause, it pops off to another virus-ridden like website, and it's like then trying to Chromecast it at the same time. It's a whole thing. And then you can't even get one that's above like 240p. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is my least favourite thing about watching these.
My other complaint about that was like a weird thing. So Chloe starts a meeting with Cruella de Vil, and it starts with like, we're told that because there's like a rehabilitation centre, it's usually for animals, but Cruella went there, and the sound of Big Ben on the TV turned all the animals' rehabilitations off. And so it then cuts to Big Ben going off, and Chloe's like, oh, that's so loud, shuts the window in her office. So, if you don't know, clocks chime on the hour. And then, so that was like, okay, we're starting a scene, and it's on the hour. Then, like, we have a 5-minute scene, and then Big Ben goes off again.
Yeah.
Are we led to believe that this...
Yeah, what are you trying to play, Kevin Lima?
Like, are we supposed to believe that this is some kind of magic clock?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of clocks which have 12 numbers on them, what do you think 102 Dalmatians scored on? 31%.
Really? That's way too high.
Yeah. That's my least favourite of the four that we watched. Anyway, the next one to come out was 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure, which came out in 2003, directed by Jim Camerud and Brian Smith. What did you think? What was that one about?
I'm going to make it a little side here. Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
No?
No, I bought like an 18 pack of it today.
Oh, no.
Boy, like, it tastes really artificial and like
give us
a little bit like acidy.
Pass it over here. Oh, jeepers.
We're sat really far away.
Yeah, I know. Alright, I am now sipping the diet. Yeah, it's... Oh, jeepers. Holy shit, man. Oh my gosh, that's just like drinking a chemical.
Yeah, it's very chemically. So, yeah, I've got, like, another 16 of these to drink.
Sorry, I'm just turning this into the background. We're still going. Cool. Right. So what's 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure about?
So it's a direct sequel to the first one. And so you've got this little one called Patch who has like a...
So this is animated.
Yeah, so he has an animated circle around his eye for a spot. So that's how you identify him.
Yeah.
But basically, like, there's the show called Thunderbolts Adventures or something like that.
Yeah.
And all the puppies idolize this guy Thunderbolt. But one in particular, he's a dog. One in particular is Patch, who wants to stand out. We're shown that he doesn't kind of stand out in the 101, and to the point where when Roger and what's her face end up deciding to move everyone to a farm, they just forget about Patch, and so Patch meanwhile runs off to this new like Thunderbolt auditions, and like. He auditions to become Thunderbolt's new sidekick, and then there's this whole through a series of misadventures. Thunderbolt thinks that he's going to get replaced, and so he decides to do a good deed in real life to like earn his place on the show. And so Patch and Thunderbolt, armed with Patch's knowledge of Thunderbolt's TV series.
Look, dude, you'll be able to hear them inside anyway.
I know, but it's just...
We're just embracing the chaos. Like...
Yeah, and so anyway, Cruella de Vil's back as well, and she's trying to steal all the puppies again, but Thunderbolt and Patch end up saving the day.
Yep, and the female Dalmatian's name is Perdita. So we're not sexist, we just don't remember stupid names.
What's the...
Anita
and Perdita.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is dumb.
So... we're probably a little bit sexist, though, to be honest. But, okay, so 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. What do you think that scores on Rotten Tomatoes?
63.
67%. So,
it's good. It's good for what it is.
It is. It's the best straight-to-DVD Disney sequel I think I've seen.
Yeah.
Except maybe Lion King. Was Lion King straight to DVD?
Lion King 2 is straight to DVD.
Yeah, that one's better.
But Lion King 2 is really good.
This... Patch's London Adventure was actually received quite positively among critics as well.
Yeah, because there was also a TV series, correct?
Yes, well, we can talk more about it, or we can talk about it now.
Yeah, when did the TV series... Jesus Christ.
The TV series came out in 1997, so before Patch's London Adventure, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting. But it kind of acts as a prequel to the series, right? Because the series takes place on the farm.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This makes it. This is interesting though, because this is a franchise which has its original, then swaps to a new live action continuity, and then does a TV show which is another continuity because it's got different art style and everything, and then comes back to the original movie's art style and animation. So it floats out into the vast space of franchises before it returns home. Do you like fireworks? Do we have any still? Should we light some?
Yeah, we do have some in the lounge.
Yeah. Could be a fun way to end this episode.
Just with a really, really fucking loud noise.
So what did you think of these films?
I would go, my ranking, I'm just going to go straight off the bat ranking. I'd go first animated, second animated, first live action, second live action.
Agree 100%.
Yeah, 101%.
No, just 100%. Yeah, man. I think, I was looking forward to watching the first live-action film. I was real excited about it because I remember it just looks like it's like a fun family movie, and it's like that. They don't really make family movies like that anymore. Not that they're that good necessarily. Like your Flubbers and your Inspector Gadgets and things.
And Beethovens.
Yeah. But I don't know, it was just kind of shit. So part of the problem is that they bring in Jeff Daniels, powerhouse of an actor. I love Jeff Daniels.
Right off the back of Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, exactly. He comes in and he plays Roger, and for the first maybe half of the movie, you get to know Roger and Anita in tandem with the Dalmatian characters, and so it's like this cool, there's a human dog story, and then in all films, well, actually no, probably just not Patch's London Adventure because that's almost all dog.
Yeah.
like right around the halfway mark, they cut off the human storyline.
Human head.
Yeah, completely, and it's all dogs, which is okay in an animated film where they can talk, but in the live action one, the dogs don't talk.
Yeah.
And so you're just watching dogs face off against Cruella de Vil a whole bunch of times.
You're gonna hear something that you've never heard before on film franchise Fortnights. Not fireworks, but you probably can't hear that, but just. Oh my
Richard,
god!
Stop peeing on me.
Diet Dr Pepper. Not a fan, man. I just poured the rest of the can out.
What are you going to do with the rest of the cans you bought?
I don't know.
Should you go pour them out right now?
I spent like $20 on that. Now, how much was it? Like $12.50 or something like that?
I don't know.
I didn't buy them. It was too much. Maybe it was a 12 pack for $18.
It was $18.50.
Yeah, it was $18.50 for a 12 pack, not an 18 pack. So I have only got. Oh my god. I'll just bring them to work and just like give them out to people.
Yeah. Hey, happy
fireworks.
Yeah, we've missed.
Happy Fireworks Day. Yeah. So. Yeah, they're interesting films because the first one is real good. Mm-hmm. The animated one is actually a really good movie, and then the second animated one is just like fun, but the live action ones are just shit. Like
they missed the mark pretty badly.
If you'd asked me like a few weeks ago what I thought of the live action 101 Dalmatian movies, I wouldn't have had any memory of them, but I would have said like. Oh, they're like they're fun. They're a period of their time. They're a product of their time. But Glenn Close is great.
Yeah.
Like it's just like one of those things you say to like I just assumed that she would have been well received in the role. Man, she's bad in those films.
I don't know if people agree with that necessarily.
I don't know. I just thought she was real bad. Like just not enjoyable to watch. Like you can get a performance like that where you get an actor like chewing the scenery.
Yeah.
And she kind of was. Jesus Christ.
I saw that happen. Oh my gosh. They're not stopping.
These are peaking so... Oh my... You can definitely hear that.
Look, I'll cut these ones out in the edit if they're that bad. I'm sure they're not though. Look, look, and me talking, that's almost as loud. It's not as sharp though.
Anyway, yeah, so Glenn Close, there's just something because Cruella's actually a really cool character.
Yeah,
and so then to have this kind of like weird, very it just wasn't Cruella, not my Cruella.
What's another Glenn Close film?
Hook.
Oh yeah. Wait, she's only like, doesn't she like just have a cameo?
Yeah, and you can't even tell it's her. She's dressed as a man.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Cruella de Vil, she is quite revered among sort of like not just Disney villains, but like villains in general. And I wonder if that's because she sort of like the movie came out in 1961. She's kind of like the original character design reflecting the personality, because like. I wouldn't have been able to perfectly draw Cruella de Vil if I saw her, if someone was like draw without looking at her. I reckon I'd get the nose wrong and that sort of thing. But like
she's not a good enough drawer.
Yeah. I do remember the sharpness of her design, and she was actually animated. Like there was someone specifically animating Cruella de Vil. And I don't know, yeah, I think she's a cool villain, and
she's a great villain.
We'll talk more about this later. That there is in fact a Cruella film coming out in the not too distant future, starring Emma Stone. And it's a prequel, and that's all the information on it. So I don't need to bring it up later.
Yeah, like I don't know. Cruella's a great character, but then just that like that sort of style of villain from that kind of movie and the punishment they get. Not a big fan of it.
Yeah. One other thing that the movie the live action remake kind of like does in a weird direction, like goes in a weird direction with, is the so Roger in the original animated film. Where you going?
Keep talking.
Roger in the original animated film is a music composer. So that's his thing. Is he plays the piano, and you've heard the Cruella de Vil. That's him singing. The 101 Dalmatians actually isn't a musical, despite what being an old Disney movie. It's like
and it's got like old and cruelly famous songs, so you'd kind of
but it's not.
Thought it'd be a musical.
It's just that's a song he writes because he's a musician, and in an effort to transpose that into the modern era in the live action remake, Roger is a video game designer, and he's designing a video game about Dalmatians.
It's a 2D point and click adventure.
It's a 2D point and click adventure in 1996, which was right on the verge of both Super Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot. So he's like, and he has got no idea. Like, he's making these like, this is awesome, this is going to revolutionize. Nah, it's not, because you're about to be completely like, that style of game you're making is about to become like
months away from obsolescence.
At the start, he's testing the game with this kid who's apparently like a real good at judging if a game's going to do very well or not. And the kid's like, "Nah, it's no good, mate. It doesn't have a good villain. It's only a dog catcher.
And girls won't like it.
Girls won't. Not even girls will like this," he says.
He says quite sexistly.
And then, then towards the end of the film, after the whole CRUELLA de VIL debacle, CRUELLA de VIL is now the villain in the game, and the kid likes it,
and he thinks that.
What does he think? Dude,
he comes to the conclusion that even girls will like this one.
I'm just gonna tell, like, this episode was never gonna be the most interesting.
Is your alarm going off?
Yep. Bins out for the boys. We've got to put the bins out, man.
Now it's gonna be vibrating on the table.
That's the worst audio intrusion of this episode.
Did we record an episode last, Guy Fawks?
I don't know. What was this been a year ago? Would have been Moulin Rouge this time last year, I think. No, but
no, it was just after Moulin Rouge I got the notification.
Yeah.
So maybe it was between, I remember last year I posted a status being like, does it feel like there's way more fireworks tonight than there is any other night of the year?
What's interesting though is
this will be dated by the time it's released anyway.
In the 2D point and click game that Roger makes, the CRUELLA de VIL they use in the game isn't the exact same design as the CRUELLA de VIL from
the Dalmatians are.
Yeah, but the Dalmatians are. It's like,
and it's not even like they edited it to make it look more like Glenn Close.
Yeah.
Which you'd think would be what they did.
Yeah. They don't. And then and on a similar kind of path there, in 101 Dalmatians 2 Patch's London Adventure, CRUELLA de VIL does have a role in that film, and you see her, she's down on her luck. No one lets her into fur stores anymore because she wants to skin puppies, which I feel like you'd probably be in prison for, but anyway.
Yeah. But it is established in 102 Dalmatians that stealing puppies is a worse crime than skinning them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's true, She is rejected from a fur store, so she goes back to her car, her like dented up car, and turns on the radio, and CRUELLA de VIL is playing. So like Roger made in both realities, Roger like capitalized on this woman to advance his own career.
Yeah, no, that's a good point actually. I wonder if CRUELLA gets any royalties, eh?
I doubt it. He probably should have changed the name.
Yeah, because he's writing. You hear him like playing with the tune, and then CRUELLA comes over and he's like CRUELLA de VIL, and then so that's where it comes from.
Dalmatians are pretty dogs, eh? I was watching these films, I realised
Dalmatians are good dogs, AJ.
When was the last time I saw a Dalmatian?
Yeah, I feel like they were everywhere. But
they used to be like fireworks. Like everywhere.
Like you couldn't avoid them. And they were like...
so I don't know. I feel like these movies are probably someone's favourite. I'm probably not going to watch them again for the rest of my life. Maybe the first one.
Yeah, the first one is one I could like show my kids. When they exist.
Check it out, kids. This is a film that Daddy had to watch once. We're going to swiftly... move along now to a segment that usually finds its way towards the end of the show, and maybe this is the end of the show. This is a segment called Continue the Franchise, where Richard and I, in an effort to to squeeze more. I was trying to make a spots pun. Nothing's coming to mind. We're going to continue the franchise. Our neighbours over there, our new neighbours are like hearing.
Oh, they knew.
Yeah, they knew.
Maybe they'll stop stealing our fucking bin.
I wonder if they're looking over and they're like, those guys doing a podcast?
Man, they're cool. You know what? I'm going to leave their bin in their front yard.
Continue the franchise. This is a segment where we continue the franchise with a sequel, a video game, whatever we can think of.
I feel like tomorrow you're going to message me and be like, dude, we can't release it.
We have to re-record. So there was a TV show, as we said, released in 1997 called 101 Dalmatians, the series.
100 and wubba lubba dub dub. It was a very intelligent, dark show.
Yeah, you have to have a very high IQ.
It's incredible.
Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. Chaos is ensuing. It's the end of the world. I don't know what you guys last heard. I might put a little, a moment of silence in there just to
really drive home how long we've been waiting for you to correctly. I don't know, maybe last you left us, AJ was trying to enter in his password and he fucked it up, and he knocked the microphone out, and I kept on talking.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to the viewers.
What we were talking about was 101 Dalmatians, the series. And this was a cartoon. It had a different art style, and it focused on 3 of the Dalmatians of the 101, which seems like a waste. And they were Lucky, Rolly, and Cadpig, as well as a chicken named Spot. So maybe
I remember Cadpig.
They should have renamed the series to not 101 Dalmatians, but
the 3 Dalmatians and a chicken.
And that was their adventures taking on Cruella de Vil. It went for 2 seasons, consisting of, how many episodes do you think?
12 and 58.
That might be correct. How many episodes altogether?
70.
How many episodes do you think a 101 Dalmatian series would have gone for?
70.
No, you're wrong.
101.
No, 105. And so that aired for 2. But they were 2 seasons. One was 12, and one was however many else you need in that.
Yeah, I saw that actually. But one was 4 times the length of the other season, which is really weird.
Yeah. And then Dodie Smith, who wrote the original The 101 Dalmatians novel, she actually wrote a sequel to the original novel.
After the TV series?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was called The Starlight Barking. And Cracked.com refers to it as an insane acid trip that slowly mutates into a David Bowie rock opera with an alien dog Messiah in it. So this is roughly what I could approximate happens in the novelised sequel of 101 Dalmatians. In the story, the Dalmatians wake up one morning to find that every living creature on Earth besides dogs have fallen asleep.
Okay.
The Dalmatians then fly away because they can fly now, as well as read minds, and they no longer need to eat, which I mean that's not really a superpower, it's just handy, but also kind of sad because, you know.
Well, you don't need to, but you still can.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess
so. One of the Dalmatians, Cadpig, as we mentioned before, assumes the role of Prime Minister. And then she forms a cabinet of other dogs, and the dogs are then visited by an alien dog named Sirius, who tells them that he put everyone to sleep and gave the dogs powers because he has grave concerns of Earth breaking out into a nuclear war.
Do you reckon Sirius Black is named in a reference to the Starlight Barking?
Yeah, I do. He then offers the dogs of Earth a place on his home planet. They say no. So that's that was the sequel that no one knows why Walt Disney did not pick that up to adapt into the second.
That is really strange. I wonder if there's any obscure I mean, there's Cadpig, but I wonder if there's any obscure references to that in the TV series. I think I'm getting bit by mosquitoes. It was really hot today, so I put on shorts and now I'm regretting it.
Man, look across this vista, man. This is beautiful. We live in central Auckland, and we have the benefit. One of the few benefits of our house is that we actually live on kind of like a slight incline.
Yeah.
So we can see across the whole city, and I've never seen that before. I've never seen multiple parties of fireworks going off. In one go.
Well, what's the opposite of a benefit? downside.
Downside.
There's a lot of downsides to their house as well.
Yeah, that's don't be jealous, listeners.
Yeah, do not be jealous.
Just because we can see fireworks.
If you saw fireworks on Sunday night, you're the same as us, but you don't have to live in a shit house. One cool thing that I have done involving fireworks is New Year's Eve 2015 going to 2016, I was in a rooftop pool in Phuket, and turns out the part of Phuket I was in doesn't really celebrate New Year's. Everything shuts down because it's a public holiday. But went to the roof of the hotel, and it was like, we were like looking at my watch, and it's like, it should be soon. And then we're like, are we going to know? Because like the clocks are synced up. And then it was like, as soon as my watch, I wasn't wearing a watch. As soon as the time clicked over to 12, it was like in all directions, just fireworks at the stroke of midnight. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I once went, this didn't happen on New Year's and doesn't involve fireworks, but your story reminded me of it. I once went with two of my buddies. We went to a place, not the Marlborough Sounds.
Coromandel?
Nah, it's like near Blenheim. You have to go through Blenheim to get there, but it's not the Marlborough Sounds. No, it's like this lake. Anyway, we were staying there.
Taupo.
And it's not Taupo, it's the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's on a different island.
And one of my friends was like, hey, let's go skinny dipping in the lake. And I was like...
AJ, are you just telling the story so that you can talk about the time you saw some boobies?
No, they were dudes.
Alright, okay, I'm not judging.
Hey, well, yeah.
Hey.
And I was like, no, I'm not going skinny dipping. They were like, it's dark, no one's going to see anything. And so I was like, alright, let's do it. And we walked out to the lake, and we all got naked, and we waded in, and there were bioluminescent plankton in the lake, and it was beautiful. And I'm here standing, like, every movement you make lights up the plankton in the lake. And this is one of the most, like, romantic and spiritual, like, places in nature I've ever been. And I was with my two naked friends.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
That'd be a good place to, like, propose or something like that.
Naked in a lake.
In a lake. Complete aside note, like, this has nothing to do with anything. But have you ever seen or heard of a show called Naked Attraction?
Remind me, it sounds familiar.
So it currently in New Zealand, it's on Friday nights 9:30 on TV2. But like, so this show is like, you get a man or a woman standing in the middle of this like stage set, and there's like 6 columns that are completely covered, and so
no, keep going.
There's no point. And so in an attempt to like articulate my story with hand movements, I knocked the Dr. Pepper can over. But yeah, there's like these like tubes, and they're opaque, but they have like a screen that lifts up, so it'll lift up and you see like someone's legs. And then
I've seen them.
The person goes, oh yeah, so like, what do you think of all these legs? And they go, oh, like these ones, these ones are all good. And then they lift up a bit more, and so you see their genitals, and it's like 100% just their genitals. And like, it's 9:30 on a Friday night, you can see uncensored genitals on your TV. And then so based
Richard Martin, 2017.
Based on this, the person has to go, all right, I'm eliminating 2 of them based on what I've seen so far. And then they go up more to the chest. And I think they do the twirl as well, so they can see their butts. So it starts off with like a man evaluating girls based on this. And so then you see their breasts or just their like chest if they're a male. And then they go, okay, these 2 are out. I don't like them enough. And then once you don't like them enough, it shows them their face, and then they come out. They have a hug, and one of them's naked. And then eventually, when it's down to like 3 people, it shows their face, and that's when the person deciding gets naked as well. And then they have to decide on 2 people, and then they're like, all 3 of them are standing there completely naked. And I was watching it, and I was like, I cannot imagine being confident enough in your body to go on that show. Like, they're not all like models. Yeah, there's one guy who had like the most lopsided testicles I've ever seen. Like, one like drooped like 2 inches lower than the other one. It was insane. And like, there was like a fat dude, and he got till she saw his face.
Wow.
And then she was like, yeah, no, and then so the guy was like, sweet, if like this model girl can be attracted to me even though I've got a tummy, you know. Maybe I can get a date the old-fashioned way. And I was like, you didn't need to show your naked body to the entire world to draw that conclusion that if you just be yourself.
It sounds like a really unhealthy way to...
Oh my God. It's like so I was at work, right?
Yeah.
And I have access, like, I have a screen that has, like, all these channels on it. And then I was just like, I was doing minding my own business.
Richard works as a minority reporter.
And is actually what the profession is in that shit movie?
Just let me have this.
And then I'm just like, that's a black dick. That's and I was like, because I've heard there's a lot of complaints about the show. And I was like, a bunch of old prudes. I was like, yeah, that's like literally like naked bodies on your TV. And I just thought, it's a bit of a sexy show. Older people don't like it. No, like, okay. This is pretty, pushing the boundary. Anyway, that didn't have anything to do with 101 Dalmatians.
Have you ever seen a spotted dick?
You being naked made me think of that. I have seen a spotted dick.
Yeah?
Yep. That was good.
Did it belong?
Was it delicious? Spotted dicks are pudding.
Sorry, was Naked Attraction your continue the franchise, or like what's going on here?
No, just a story about you being naked and currently with no other avenues to discuss pop culture other than this podcast.
Yeah.
I felt I had to.
All right, so here's my continue the franchise. Oh, sorry, and they're making a Cruella film with Emma Stone, as I mentioned before.
Oh, is that like a sequel, or...?
It's a prequel, yeah.
You initially just, ran with being like, oh, I don't know. But then you realised that there was actually the only other piece of information
because,
you didn't know.
Cruella de Vil can be sympathised with.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how they do it.
I don't think they can do it, because I don't think you can sympathise with someone who skins puppies. I think that's about my limit.
You're still a Harvey Weinstein fan. You still love Kevin Spacey, but skinning puppies is too far.
Do you know by the time this comes out,
there'll be
some other actor? Who is it? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Message us and tell us who's come out in the last week. There was one I saw today that was like a small one, but might have actually just been another allegation about Kevin Spacey or something. Steven Seagal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's had a few.
That was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but there was a girls like, Harvey Weinstein and Steven Seagal both tried to force me to their hotel rooms. Anyway, off topic, depressing.
All right, so my continue the franchise. You've had 101 Dalmatians. You've had 102 Dalmatians. So what's my continue the franchise?
300 Dalmatians.
16 billion Dalmatians.
It takes place on a different planet.
This film is about Cruella de Vil escapes from whatever, and she's so obsessed with getting Dalmatians that the government's like, all right, you can have them, and they transport her to a alternate reality where there are 16 billion Dalmatians, and she has to escape this hellscape.
She has to skin them all.
And you begin. This is how they'll make you sympathise with her: is that she begins to have to be like, okay, I have to escape here. It's like a post-apocalyptic thing, but instead of zombies, it's 16 billion Dalmatians.
Yeah. Behind us, there's some the real lame fireworks that just go and it's casting a green and red shadow on our house that's like a moving thing. And it's like, why can't all fireworks be like that? It's making our house look nicer, which is a difficult task, and it's not making noise. Why can't all fireworks be like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, my continuing franchise. Very good, AJ.
Thank you. That's louder than the fireworks.
Okay, well, my continuing franchise, mine's sort of different because it's as much a continue the franchise as it is like a replace part of the franchise. Because, Cruella, 102 Dalmatians starts with Cruella. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, these ones don't have a pop at the end. Anyway,
much like 102 Dalmatians.
So 102 Dalmatians has it starts with Cruella being rehabilitated.
Yeah.
And she actually genuinely loves these puppies. She wants to do everything she can. Donate. She's got £8 million. She really genuinely wants to help all the puppies. And then Big Ben goes off and she's back to insane old Cruella. But I would love to see. I reckon it would have been a way cooler plot if there ended up being another villain, and it's Cruella actually genuinely is rehabilitated, but the thing is that everyone thinks she's still evil. So not only is she having to deal with like genuinely trying to do right by these puppies and defeating the other villain, but she now has to also deal with, she's in the spotlight because everyone's like, what is she planning? Mm-hmm. And I like when I was compared it to like the episode of The Simpsons with Sideshow Bob and his brother Cecil, is that like Bob actually is nice, but he's fixed by the end, like throughout that entire episode, and then he only goes back to being a Sideshow Bob because they wrongfully imprison him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird that, like, they actually made Bob, like, a functioning member of society for a while.
Would your new villain be named...
Holy shit!
That looks like something went wrong.
Yeah, that actually genuinely scared the shit out of me. Holy crap.
I'm sure they're okay.
Like, they're close enough, like... Normally you see the flash first and you're like, oh, okay, expect a loud noise. These ones are so close that it was at the same time that it's just this like flash of light and like sounds that haven't been heard at all tonight. Oh my god. And like I feel that looked like it went wrong, and it could have quite easily.
It's a cloudy night, so it's looking very Stranger Things season 2 at the moment, with like the fireworks going off behind the clouds. I'm expecting to see a shadow monster. They call it the shadow monster.
Okay, I haven't seen Stranger Things.
Would your new villain to replace Cruella de Vil be called Sinister Le Souffle?
Yep.
You know, so he's like Lucifer.
Oh my god, I didn't even get that.
Yep. All right, cool. You want to read out some fan mail?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we got a bit of fan mail this week. Josh Monson, who's not really a fan, he's part of Cult Popture, but he likes to be included, so he wanted me to read this comment out. He commented this on the raid. He said, "Hey Cult Popture family, minor recurring guest in the CPU, the Cult Popture universe, I guess. Josh Monson here. I like how this time AJ was the one attempting to derail the podcast. Didn't watch the movies, just here for the banter. Love your work. Looking forward to my long-awaited return to the guest seat. Not going to happen, Josh. I have listened to every episode and love them all. Please do the Beethoven movies, classics of my childhood. Cheers." Thanks.
Well, Josh, you'll be happy to know we actually have already done the Beethoven. You can and also, we don't take requests anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
David Brown commented on the raid. Our favourite commenter.
Hey.
Here's one of them.
Here's one of them.
He said, "Yeah, boy, the raid movies, please part 3 happen. Soon these movies..." Oh, sorry. I made you sound like an idiot. Yeah, boy, the raid movies. Please part 3 happen soon. These movies are awesome and so are you guys.
Please happen. Soon these movies awesome.
And we also got a comment on our new Instagram that we made a couple weeks ago from a guy named Mark's Records. He commented on the Dumb and Dumber post we did on Instagram and said, "I love the podcast. Some are grittier than others. They're particularly good when you have a bit more structure. But I always laugh. Glad you fixed your audio situation too, lol." Isn't this a good audio situation to come back?
Mark's Records, you're going to love this one.
The audio situation could refer to a myriad of stages of this podcast. Are you talking about before we had a good microphone? Are you talking about when we only used one microphone? Are you talking
when we tried to do the dynamic thing and sit on either side of the microphone?
Yep.
How one of them sounded like we were underwater?
Yeah. Are you talking about how there was that time that...
we tried to record in a blanket fort, and it just was
that one sounded good.
Yeah, and it got real hot.
Oh, for a while on this podcast, I peaked it to 10, to plus 10, because it was too quiet. I didn't know how the compressors worked. Anyway, maybe, I don't know which one he's referring to, but thank you, Mark's Records. Maybe it's Mark Records. Mark's Records.
Shrek.
He said he likes the ones that have a bit more structure. And good audio, so I can just safely assume he's probably not listening to this one.
He's really giving up on it.
Alright, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
101, this is what I'm going to call this episode. 101 things about 101 Dalmatians you didn't know before.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap it. I need to go to the toilet.
Alright. Do you want me to just wrap up? You can just go to the toilet.
No, well, I don't know if I trust you to...
No,
we'll talk about it next week.
No.
Anyway,
usually what we do now...
Yeah, usually what we do now would be a thing called Franchise Roulette, where we would randomly select the next franchise. But we're doing a special episode next week. We're doing a crossover. Kieran Bennett from Crits and Giggles, which you guys should check out. In the meantime, It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
In the meme time, more like.
That's like, what have we seen? What have I seen recently that references the dream time?
Have you been reading Aboriginal folklore?
Oh no, it was the Pornscape I'm thinking of,
right,
and Big Mouth. Yeah, the meme time. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Check out this podcast. Crits and Giggles. It's like it's a game of Dungeons and Dragons that's sort of ever changing in each episode, each podcast episode.
Yes,
is like the newest. Just wait. Is like the newest chapter in there, and so they've got one of their guys is overseas at the moment, and so I'm going to be my character, which is being invented specially for this storyline, is going to be brought into the story, and shit's going to go down, and to advertise each other, Kieran's going to come on our podcast, I'm going to go on his, and we're going to be doing the Dungeons and Dragons movies, of which there are 3.
They exist.
Yeah.
Speaking of you guest starring on podcasts, you've been around.
I have been. I also guest starred.
We skanky boy coming on another podcast.
It sounds like you're slut shaming me a little bit there, AJ.
You're a slut, Richard. You should be ashamed.
So yeah, I guest starred on a podcast called Two Thumbs Down. It's a couple of guys from America. They've got. It's in its early days. There's only a few episodes, so you'll breeze through their back catalogue. No sweat. But they have, it's sort of like a just shooting the shit kind of thing. They just have different topics every week, and they just talk about it. And I guess start on talking about one of my favourite things of all time. Now we've got an airplane to deal with, The Simpsons, and talking about how it should end, should it end, and then. We talked a little bit about Lost finale. I defended it, and then oh my god, this plane, and then we talked about The Walking Dead and how it sucks now.
Yeah, that's great, Richard. I wasn't really listening. Did you say that your favourite thing was dealing with planes?
Check that out. And Christian from that is going to be guest starring on our podcast at some point in the future. I need to email him and make it clear.
This can't be the way he finds out.
Christian, if you're listening, hopefully I've emailed you in the last week. But yeah, we'll be getting you on at some point in the future. But we actually are running out of episodes for this year.
Yeah. And again,
apologies.
if you guys like fighting prostate cancer and testicular cancer and depression, then please donate to our Movember page, which there'll be a link in the description, and that URL is
moteam.co/cult-popture.
moteam.co/cult-popture. And our goal is 1,000. We're up to, at the time of this recording, we're up to about nearly 500.
Yeah.
So nearly halfway.
And if we get to 2,000, or we want to get to 1,000 as a team, but I would also love to get to 1,000 as a person. When you donate, it automatically splits it between both of us, or you can donate to one of us specifically, and it still puts it towards the team total. But if you get $1,000, you get a harmonica. So now I've got my own little side goal. So feel free to donate to me specifically.
Yeah, I don't need a harmonica. Just donate to Richard.
It'll go towards the team still. So anyway, donate to that. It's an amazing cause. We don't receive any profits from it, although if we get enough profits, I will receive a harmonica. And I will learn it, and I will upload me doing a song on the Cult-Popture page.
And if we get to 2,000, we'll kiss. If we get to 3,000, we'll have sex with each other. Live on camera.
Do we have, do we have rich enough friends that they're going to...
You can also find Cult-Popture stuff on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, where we're actually doing 30 Days of 30 Mo's.
Yeah, so hashtag 30 Days 30 Mo's on Instagram. Every day we're going to be posting a different moustache from pop culture or history, and a little write-up as to why it's a significant moustache.
Cool, and we've got a few more things coming out of the pipeline that I'm not going to talk about yet.
So don't bother bringing them up.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for listening, everybody.
So check us out next week. In the meantime, check out Two Thumbs Down. These are just the fizzy ones, so they're not too bad. Oh, no, they're not.
Oh, betrayed.
Anyway, I've never felt so betrayed by a firework. Anyway, now I'm just going to enter his password again, and so we might cut out. No, we're good. Oh, I'm actually covered in itchy bites. This is
That's
awful.
great, man.
Anyway, check out Crits and Giggles. Check out Two Thumbs Down. They're both great podcasts, and I
haven't been doing jack shit. Like, I've been on no podcasts.
But no, AJ, you've been doing your video
video essays. Yeah, we're doing video essays every Monday on YouTube and Facebook, because you know what the world needs? More video essays with
do you know what the world needs?
Sub 40
More
views.
AJ.
Yeah. So check them out. I've done ones on Blade Runner and the new trailer for the New Mutants X-Men movie, and Creepypastas. I did one for Halloween, which was a nice little one, because that was one of those things where you start and you're like, this is a weak idea.
Yeah.
And then I've had
doing Beethoven on the podcast.
Yeah, but then I've had some really nice feedback about the Creepypastas one. So check that out. That was a lot of fun to do.
Alright, catch us next time on Jeff Daniels' franchise Fortnights, where we're going to be doing the other Jeff Daniels franchise.
What is it?